Welcome back to Next Normal, second session of the second day. Really pleased to welcome you to this session with the title Content Tagging Automation, the key enabler of omni-channel orchestration. I'm very confident this will be a nice session indeed. Before we deep dive into the discussion, my pleasure to welcome first Emma Hyland from Veeva. Hi Emma, how are you?
Hello Dario, well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks a lot. Claudio Cipriani, right, from Organon. Claudio, come stai?
Hey, very well, thanks.
Thanks a lot. And Giacomo Porzio, the CEO from Lyriko. Giacomo, same question to you. How are you?
All good here, Dario. Thank you. Also, thank you for having us here.
Fantastic. So we prepared some very tough questions, and I believe our audience is very curious to hear the answers. And the first we have for you, Claudio, which is, would you say that content is a key element of your customer engagement strategy? And if it is, why, and what actually role does it play?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, tough question, but it's a right one. So, yeah, content is a key component of our engagement strategy, and to engage the different kind of customers we have, from HCPs, patients, consumers, and so on. So if we focus on HCPs, for example, where the purpose of a pharmaceutical company is to share information on the drugs, and across all the channels we have, we do think content is king. Now, digital and cutting-edge technologies help to personalize the engagement. Having tailored content that is, personalized not only for the cluster, not only for the persona, but to individual customer, to meet the customer preferences and interests, and also meeting the commercial objectives of the companies. And content taxonomies tags are a key enabler to support the campaign execution, to monitor how we share the message, and also to feed a next best content action orchestrators. Again, to send recommendations to the field, for example, the content to share, or also to send content directly to the physician, for example, by a marketing automation tool.
Thank you, Claudio. Let's move forward to you, Emma. And the question which we are curious about is, what trends do you see from your customer's perspective regarding content? Because you really work with a lot of different pharma companies. And what are their actual needs and demands nowadays?
Yes, thanks, Dario. I thought you were going to ask me a tough question. That's what you promised. But this is the question, and what I love talking about with all of our customers at the moment is it's really building on everything that Claudio just said. So in order to deliver on omnichannel strategies, in order to deliver personalized, tailored content, you have to have more content. So the data that we have just shows that the volumes of content are increasing year on year, as we'd expect, but that acceleration certainly occurred during COVID times, but we're seeing it continue to accelerate. So the demand for digital content and everything that Claudio said means that our customers are having to produce more content. For example, there's 3.5 times more digital content than print. We're seeing 3 times the amount of growth of that content. But what we're not seeing is the same numbers of increases of people to actually manage and work and deliver on this content. So the challenges are there. How do you deliver that content while maintaining compliance and being able to do it in an efficient way? So, we see that customers are looking for ways to innovate, looking for ways to be able to do more. So, that's what we're doing. We're partnering with them and with our technology partners to enable them to deliver content more efficiently and always compliantly as well.
Thank you, Emma. Speaking about technology partners, let's move forward to you, Giacomo. We heard already some intro about content tagging, but could you please explain how Lyriko's content tagging automation works, and what are the main features of the Lyriko content?
Yes, with pleasure, Dario. And here we are really focusing on the content. So we introduced, as part of Lyriko, our product, a module which is enabling the automatic tagging of content. So we are able to tag both full contents and modular content, so individual pieces of content that can then be utilized to hyper-personalize the experience for the customers. the way we do, and let's take the Veeva example. So the way we do with Veeva, as in Lyriko at 6 Sense, the company, the technology partner of Veeva, we extract the contents from Veeva Vault, and through a machine learning pipeline, then what happens is that we read the text in those contents and leverage machine learning algorithms to apply labels, so what we call tags, to that content. This is very useful for a number of reasons. It's gonna enable the descriptive a description of the content. So we are able to tell a machine what is actually a piece of content talking about. We're able to monitor the content, so what is shared with the customers. But most of all, we are enabling the automation. So we are enabling what comes downstream at Lyriko, which is omnichannel content journey orchestration.
Thank you, Giacomo. Thank you, Giacomo. Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, once the content is tagged, that's a starting point for us. Mm-hmm. What we then do is also gather business requirements, business inputs, and strategic objectives of the customers, and fetch the interactions data, historical interactions data from CRM, so from Veeva CRM, for instance. Once we have all of these pieces of information together, we apply the business logics, which the customer is actually imposing on the data and choosing on the data to orchestrate messages to the customers in a way which meets both the interest and the relevance for the individual customer, so for the one-to-one customer, as Claudio was saying before, but also making sure that the content which is priority for our customers gets shared with them. And the end of the cycle is then you are able to monitor what's the trend, what's the tracking, so which content has been shared to which customers and across which channels.
Thank you, Giacomo. Let's move back to you, Claudio. Since you're the only one coming from a particular pharma company, we wonder what are actually the main struggles for a typical modern pharma company when it comes to dealing with content.
Or struggles, where do I start? Just joking. Organon has more than 60 medicines and products in different therapeutic areas, starting from women's health. Now, Organon has the ambition to bring the therapies around the world with an international footprint and to serve people in plus than 140 markets. It means that we have a very complex organization with different languages, teams that are located in different geographies. We have a lot of existing promo materials, and we have kind of we have some decentralized taxonomies for content tagging for now, or we used to have, I would say, with different maturities. And at the end, when you want to tag a promo material, an example, any content, I mean, this is a manual intensive activity. So that's why we saw a big opportunity with Lyriko, because it helped to quickly tag all the promo materials in the same way. And so to create a new standardized taxonomy for different purposes. And Giacomo just mentioned the monitoring, for example, of the messages we share with our customers. The automation. So this is kind of next best orchestrator, and we have the tags to feed this orchestrator. But finally, also, if we see the objectives of a pharmaceutical company, also to enhance the operations. So once you have the tags, you can use it to reuse existing content and save money, and also increase the quality from this improved content reusability. Did I answer your question, Dario?
Thanks a lot, Claudio. Much appreciated. Let's speak about this concrete relationship between Lyriko and Organon. And this is, Giacomo, how did actually the relationship between your organization, so Lyrico and Organon, come about, and how did it influence some of the Lyriko's futures?
So it's thank you for the question. It's a long story which comes from a few years back. We started to work, before working with Organon, we started to work with Merck. And at Merck, what we did was to apply a technology that we built in a different context. we built the engine of Lyriko in the financial industry sector. But then, when working with Merck in the past, we had the opportunity to customize the solution for the pharmaceutical and life science world, and Lyriko came out. So Lyriko was used at the time as a next best action engine, so suggesting next best actions to sales reps, or sending emails to customers, suggesting website pages. However, and then when Organon was born, as a spin-off from Merck, we had the opportunity to add even more and to customize even more our standard product to the needs of Organon. So I have to say this was for us a very fruitful collaboration, which is enabling us to enhance our product offering with additional modules. So we now also have the content tagging that we can offer to our customers.
Thank you, Giacomo. Emma, back to you. What value does Veeva see in complementary solutions like Lyriko's?
Yes, thank you, Dario. Another tough question for me, Dario. Another great question, an easy one for me to answer, because it's something we're really proud of at Veeva. We have a great partner program, Lyriko being a great example of somebody in that technology partner program. So across this commercial suite, there are over 70 technology partners working really closely with us. And that's really important because it's not a one-size-fits-all. Not every organization out there, not every one of our customers has the same needs. But what we do see is, more than ever, PromoMats being the product, one of the products that I look after from a strategy perspective here in Europe, it serves as the engine, the content engine, to serve content out through to the channels. Doing that in the way that PromoMats can deliver that efficiently and compliantly. And then it's solutions like Lyriko that see the opportunities to innovate on top of that as well. So looking for very specific needs, as the one we've been discussing today around content tagging. So this very specific need to be able to maximize the use of the content. So as we started the conversation saying there is so much more content that's out there, when you've got those volumes, you have to make sure that investment is being used in the right way. So being able to do the tagging so that organizations like Organon can make the use of that content in the right way is extremely important. And then the second part on being closely aligned as technology partners, I think, is future-proofing. So as we look forward to the future, and Giacomo mentioned modular content as a real focus for us, and a lot of people are looking for how do we move forward in this space. As we build and evolve PromoMats, we're working with our technology partners on that journey as well, so that we can make sure that our combined complementary solutions are really working for the customers as they're designed to.
Thanks a lot, Emma. Back to you, Giacomo. Lyriko's parent company is a technical partner of Veeva, right? What value does it have in the development of a new solution like Lyriko? You're muted, Giacomo.
Here we go. Apologies. Thanks for the question. It's also a question that I very much like to answer. I would say it's a little bit like Emma just said, vice versa. So for us, being part of an ecosystem is extremely valuable. And there's one simple reason. The reason is when we have a shared customer, it's easy to build synergies. Being technology partner enables the customers actually, which work with us and are Veeva customers and 6 Sense Lyriko customers, to get plug and play solutions. So the ease of setting up solutions and the return of investment is much quicker. But and then there's also another advantage that I see is that we get certifications for our developers to support customers in implementing their solutions locally. So that's also very, very important, because we are able to locally in Europe, but also in other markets, help our customers globally to basically customize a solution, standardized solution like Veeva, to their needs, which can vary from geography to geography.
Thanks a lot. We received an interesting question from our audience, actually a couple of questions. I will take the last one, which is the regulatory environment is varied. How applicable and effective is a modular content system, and also does this create challenges for the target? I think a very interesting question. Who would like to go first? Emma, please, you can.
Happy to, but I think there's two parts to that question. Is that right, Dario? Thinking about the regulatory environment for modular content, and then specifically how it applies to the tagging side. Okay, well, I'll take the first part to start with, if that's okay, because that's something we think very deeply about. You know, we're not just building modular content. You could do modular content elsewhere and do other things. What we're thinking about is how do you make modular content work within life sciences, and that is within the regulatory environment that we are in. And years ago, people had said to me, it could never be done. It just wouldn't work. Everything needs to be reviewed and approved, every single asset. And while it does, there are ways that you can be efficient in the content creation process so that you can indicate content that has been pre-approved. So by the time you get to a final asset, you can actually help to speed up some of the efficiencies around review and approval. So we see that we're working within the regulations. That's really important, being really mindful of the challenges and the opportunities our customers have to work with the regulators as well. So, and I think that's something that we see as the future too. You know, the regulators have built regulations around the way that we've always worked, but that is changing. And so, you know, a lot of the regulators around the world, and particularly here in Europe, have been really open to talking with us, learning about what the life sciences organizations are doing and finding the right solutions so that we can deliver what we all want to do, what the regulators want to do, which is the great customer experience so that we have the best outcomes for patients ultimately. Now, I can go on content tagging, but maybe somebody else wants to jump in.
I see Giacomo wants to jump in.
Yeah, and you know, to link my answer to Emma's one, we take the downstream part of tagging, right? So once the content approval process is finished, we trigger the tagging process from that point going onwards. And of course, this is customizable. You know, in different cases, it could be customizable. But as of today, we're only tagging approved contents. I see there's another question about, you know, what are the sources for tagging. So I'd like to also take it from there. So Veeva Vault is our primary source of contents to tag, but we could also tag other, you know, materials and other touch points, because the technology is built in a way that you can, you know, fetch materials in different formats: PDF, PowerPoints, Excel files, website, HTML files, so website and emails. We extract the text automatically from those contents, translate everything in English, and then process it through machine learning algorithms. What we have as an output is a set of standardized tags, which are, you know, organized in a taxonomy. But we, of course, enable the user to, on one side, provide feedback to what the algorithm, so to what the artificial intelligence has built, and adjust the results, but also edit the taxonomy in a custom way. So we can have structured taxonomies, so, you know, tags that can only have one value out of a set of pre-specified values, or we can have free texts, fully customized tags. And that's specifically useful when you want to assign, for instance, the different tactics, different materials, different contents to one campaigns. When working with Veeva, this is extremely interesting, because all of this metadata, which we can append to a piece of content, can then automatically be injected back into Veeva Vault formats as metadata that can be used for a number of use cases, and Claudio and Emma were highlighting them before.
Thanks a lot, Giacomo. And just for my curiosity, what is actually the current biggest struggle which you face and see in a modern pharma company when it comes to content automation? Because we hear a lot about next-best action, content orchestrations, and so on. But in your opinion, where actually our industry is moving when it comes to the content automation? Because the ultimate goal would be scalability, and we all see that this ultimate goal still is far away, at least as far as I know. Giacomo?
Yeah. So from what I can see, there's one of the challenges of content automation, of course, is to stay relevant for the customers. So what we need to avoid, and what we actually succeeded in avoiding in the past, is overwhelming the customers with too much content. Now, because we are, I think, and here then Claudio and Emma, of course, can provide their point of view, but the model is shifting, right, from a coverage, frequency, or number of interactions, so from the quantity to the quality. That's where the focus is going. But even in this shift from quantity to quality of the focus, it's still very, very hard to really be relevant for the customers. The pandemic has changed the way that customers have, approach sales reps or scientific information. It's true that there has been a surge in the usage of digital channels, for sure. But this has been true for everybody, and I think that people are overwhelmed with digital communication. So one of the biggest challenges from my perspective is to make sure that you maintain a relevance for the customers, avoiding them to spam, pass me the term, them with too much communication.
Thanks a lot. Emma, Claudio, anything to add?
Yeah, I give you the perspective of the company because, well, Giacomo was definitely right. So it is important to provide what is needed to the customers, but at the same time, it is important to stick to the priorities of the company in order to have the focus of the different stakeholders to make it happen. So once we're able to achieve our internal objectives, commercial or marketing objectives, the scalability, and we're able to monitor the results. So it is important to have a project that is very tied to the outcomes and the impact on the business potentially from a revenue perspective, but also, cost optimization. So when we're able to measure the progress we make, and then the scalability follows.
Thanks a lot, Claudio. Emma?
I agree with the gentleman here. Yes, nothing more specific to add to that, Dario.
Okay, fantastic. So we came to the end of this very interesting session. If you have any questions to Giacomo, Emma, Claudio, please reach to them in the networking area because you have the possibility to chat, to meet instantly. And it was really a great pleasure. We learned a lot because certainly content tagging and automation is a very crucial topic because, as already mentioned, we all seek for this scalability inside our industry, and certainly Lyriko and together with Veeva and such experienced companies like Organon, of course, can leverage the entire industry with that. So thanks a lot, and please be informed with other sessions.
Thanks, Dario. One remark in the back in the expo section. There's of course there will be some additional material and a video that explains part of what we have discussed today. So I invite everybody to come and take a look there.
I checked the Giacomo, and I really have to say it's quite fascinating. Not many companies are able to do that, so definitely you should meet with Giacomo and see what they can do for your pharma company as well. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.